All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Marco Live. Um, Today's topic is the fastest hands in current boxing history. I'm going to bring in Hayden. Hey, my man, what's up?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Not bad, not bad. What's up, Jonathan? Um, yeah, man. So today's topic is the fastest hands in boxing currently, not in history, but currently. Um, there's a few people that come to mind. You have to take into consideration that when you measure that, you got to measure weight because it's pound for pound the fastest hands, not literally taking a speedometer and measuring because smaller people will probably be faster, um, unless you're Roy Jones. So, I mean, well, everybody welcome Hayden. Hayden, what do you think? What do you think? Who do you got? Who
Yeah,
comes
no,
to mind?
absolutely agree. I think you have to, people talk about hand speed, and it's all relative to size, weight divisions. But not only that, um, distance travel. There are guys in divisions that are long and rangy, and from point A to point B takes takes a little longer, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's a longer distance to cover. So if a guy's got fast hands and he's really long and rangy, he's dangerous. A guy with short, he's fast on the inside, but
Right.
got a guy snapping jabs off from range and keeping him at bay with a super fast jab.
Right, right. So, okay, so here, Jonathan 97, my man, he says Ryan Garcia. So that's an interesting one, Jonathan, because if you just measure Ryan's left hook, I struggle to think of anybody who, I mean, he's faster than that's faster than almost anything I've seen. It's not as fast as Roy Jones, but it's up there with Meldrick Taylor. I mean, Ryan's left hook is super fast, but I said fastest hands. His other punches, weirdly, don't compare in speed. Can you think of any other fighter in history that had one punch only that was that fast and everything else was not nearly uh, as excellent?
David Tua's left hook.
Well, I mean Joe Frazier too, I guess, but
Yeah, Joe Frazier. Yeah, Joe Frazier. I mean, he had a decent overhand shot too. He brought
but
that in fairly quickly. But yeah,
but
yeah.
Ryan's like I bet you if you measured it, it'd be a significant difference in speed from all the other punches.
So here's the thing. I think with Ryan Garcia, I think Ryan Garcia is fast. I think he's got fast hands. Period. But this is his trick. This is his hack. Is his signature punch. The problem with Ryan Garcia is that he doesn't fight at different ranges well. He lines up, and maybe this is work that's done on mitts, maybe it's work that's done on the heavy bag, but he doesn't know how to shorten his punches. So
Mm,
and that's what Tank was counting on. When he got
mm,
countered by Tank, it wasn't the hook that he got countered off of. He got countered off of overshooting a punch and being
right.
and Tank being under that punch and knowing he was going to overshoot that punch, especially being a significantly shorter fighter. It's easy for him to get under that, and
You know,
and
you're right. You're right. No, you're right. So I guess moving from Ryan Garcia, a guy who I think, and I don't know much about him, but a guy who is always brought up in the top, the speedsters, would be Gary Russell Jr.
sure,
Um, Very fast.
hands down one of the fastest guys out there currently.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, who is faster than him?
maybe, and then again, it's relative because of weight division, but I think Inoue is a bit faster than Gary Russell Jr. for sure.
Do you think pound for pound?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Inoue
Mm.
has to be considered pound for pound one of the best guys out there, regardless, right? Um,
He's one of the best
so
fighters, but speed wise.
speed wise, yeah. I mean, this guy, he's got great instincts, but he counters, he anticipates. I mean, his hand speed is really quite phenomenal. Um, I think he has a read on angles like an early Loma. Loma now is unsurpassed in that area, right?
Mm.
He's a safety first fighter. He puts his feet in position first, and that's another guy I've got to think. He gets himself into the right places fast enough, but his hands are quick. Loma's hands are quick.
Yeah. Yeah, his hands are fast. Okay. Here's one guy who I think deserves to be there. I'm curious what you think. Pound for pound. David Benavidez? When he chooses to do the what do you think?
I think in combination, in pure hand speed, if he had to throw one punch really fast, I don't think he measures up to some of the guys. I think, as a matter of fact, I think Andrade was faster than him, and he
You
showed
think
that. And
Boo Boo was
yeah, he's
okay?
faster. He doesn't have that kind of crack. He doesn't have that kind of pop, right? Um, I,
Okay, okay.
I, I
All right.
really think Benavidez has a good fast combination. Once he gets the wheels turning, I think you're right. Pound for pound, size for size.
He's. I think he's faster than Boo Boo when he throws. Michael DH, what's up, man? Shout out to you. I think he's faster. What do you guys think watching? I think Benavidez pound when he decides to throw with speed. There's this one clip. You know what clip I'm talking about? Where he's like, bop, 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 brrr, and then the guy goes down. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Knock
yeah,
out the
yeah.
dick.
I know
That,
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
I mean, that
and he's
is
fast.
nuts.
He's fast, but I think it's the power that throws the guy there. And when a guy's paralyzed, you look fast regardless, right? But yes, I do think there's merit to he is fast, but it's kind of like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is not as fast out of the gate as some guys, but once he gets those cranking, and he's
Well,
so big and so long and so strong, Benavides. So it takes a bit, and he doesn't have the same infighting range. He needs his range, but he's got the power to put you at his range, whether you like it or not.
see, I
That
disagree. I think Benavidez could throw short and long punches and wide punch. I think he could do both, which makes him be able to fight at any range. Like his inside punching is and he could throw them with such leverage. But this is more a discussion on speed, with such speed when he wants to. Another guy is Tank. Now you just kind of his power grabs your eyeballs, but is there significant speed there too?
so this is where we talk about the distance traveled, right? He's a T-Rex. He doesn't have that far to go from A to B. So if
Like
sure,
Mike Tyson.
right, so he's going to get there quickly. So
Okay,
the speed is relative to the distance traveled, but he makes
true,
you fight at the distance that he needs
true.
to do that.
Hey, Jesus here. What's up, man? He says Carmel Moten. Carmel Moten does have very fast hands. I try not to use guys who are just starting out in these discussions because I feel like we haven't seen enough of him. But he does have fast hands. But then you go into guys like Devin. I mean, Devin, his last fight against Regis, his hands look blazing. They look really fast, no?
They looked fast, but I don't see Devin as super fast. I see him as well. I think he has better timing than anything else. He stiff jabs, stiff arms you into where he wants you to be, and he's got great timing. Regis was putting himself in the wrong place. Regis,
I
I think,
mean,
is actually faster, but again, Regis is another T-Rex kind of guy. Long torso, short legs, gets leverage on the punches, and doesn't have as far to travel.
that was like me, by the way. Long torso, I got short arms, short legs.
Yeah, that
Um,
when you generate speed, your speed is going to be power because of that. You've got the center of gravity.
That's true. That's true. Well, what about Shakur? I mean, Shakur seems to be pretty fast. See,
Fast, but he
Jonathan just
doesn't
said Shakur.
generate that kind of punching power, right? He doesn't get that kind of leverage on his punches.
But forget about power. We're talking about the speed. What about is Shakur's speed top 10 in boxing?
No.
Raymond Muratalia. Somebody just said. Who the hell is that? I don't even know who that is. Do you? Hayden, do you know
No,
Raymond
no.
Muratalia? Jesus, who is Raymond Muratalia? What weight is he in? Give me a quick little background. I don't know who
Tell you
that
what,
is.
if we're talking speed and timing right now, Ben Whitaker is the guy to watch, right?
Ben Whitaker,
He's pretty fast. He is pretty fast.
he's fast. He takes a mix between Prince Nassim and Emmanuel Augustus and kind of,
Both pretty fast guys.
merges it. Okay, there's Raymond guy's a 135 pounder. I'll look out for him. I never heard of him. Now what about pound for pound? Remember, pound for pound, Tyson Fury. He's pretty fast, being 6'9", 280. 280. What do you think?
I had to think about that one because I think there's another guy that gets to he'll wear guys out, lean on them, stiff arm them, hold them.
But when he starts getting on his toes and popping that jab, and he has some speed on him with those combinations. No,
they're pretty okay, pound for pound, but I got to say, Deontay Wilder is much faster than him.
Jesus, yeah, I'm from New York City. Deontay Wilder, you think is faster
For
than
sure.
Fury?
I think Deontay Wilder is faster than just about anybody in the heavyweight division.
I
Maybe
think
not
he's more
still,
explosive,
well,
but not faster.
and makes him fast. It's that explosion. It's that that speed. He covers 10 feet in a ring
Okay,
with 1-2 faster than anybody in the
okay,
history.
so
Right.
so this is what we're talking about with Ryan. So you're right, but look, Ryan has one punch. Deontay has two punches. He doesn't throw fast combinations. So should this list be focusing on combinations or just one punch speed?
just one punch speed.
You think so?
I think one punch speed.
Hmm.
I think one
Okay.
punch. And I'll tell you why. You can develop more speed, but some guys are naturally that fast twitch. Some guys are naturally built for that. Some guys have more intermediate muscles. Some guys have more fast twitch. Some guys have more slow twitch, and a lot of it's genetic, right? Regionally, where'd your family evolve from? What kind of combination might you have? So when you train for speed, the guys that are naturally built for it are going to get that much faster than the guys who aren't. Some guys, however, here's the problem. The guys that are built for that kind of speed use glycogen so much faster. So they run out of gas so much faster.
Right.
Even a compact Mike Tyson burned through glycogen stores very quickly.
Right. Okay. Ryan's overrated, overhyped, social media boxer. Jesus, I would disagree with you. I don't think he's a social media boxer. I think he has a deep amateur background.
Amateur pedigree.
He just happened to build his social. He's a boxer with good social media.
Yeah.
Whereas Jake Paul was a social media guy who transitioned into boxing. AJ is quick for a heavyweight. Somebody just said AJ is fast for a heavyweight for being
for that size, for sure.
250, 6'6".
Pound for pound, we got to look at the man that starched AJ. In terms of speed. No.
Really, Ruiz, yeah.
Can't leave him out.
Really fast.
Pound, yeah. Especially a left hook.
No, Ruiz is really fast. No, you're totally right. I was going down into the light heavyweights. And I'm like, not better Biev, but Bivol. What about Bivol?
I think Bivol's fast. I don't think he's blazing fast. I don't think he's super powerful. I think he's a good angular fighter, a very great technical fighter. Super fast? I don't think so. I think he's beaten a lot of guys that are faster than him on technique. I think Canelo's faster than Bivol.
Canelo is faster than Bivol, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I wouldn't say Canelo's very fast. He's not slow.
Not super fast, but he's faster than Bivol, and he's certainly more explosive.
Okay.
But Bivol is a technical. He is disciplined. That guy is angle to angle. Punches his way to his angles, uses an educated jab to disrupt things. And a lot of that technique and a lot of that educated placement and punch selection negates speed. There are many negate speed, sometimes with volume, sometimes with angles, sometimes,
Right. Well,
I think Bivol can make a lot of fast guys look slower.
True. Bam Rodriguez is fast. Somebody said, yeah, Bam Rodriguez, he's fast.
Who was that? Let's shout out to that individual because
that's Jesus. But he's Bam Rodriguez is also 100 and what is he 105? What's he weigh? Is he 108 or is he even out of is he even into the 110s? The little guy.
Not yet. Yeah, but he even for that weight, he is fast. He's like Johnny Tapia was to me.
Yeah. Bam's fast.
And has punching power for that size.
What about Stephen Fulton? Would he be considered one of the fastest?
Fulton's a fast guy as well.
Bam's 115, they say. Okay.
Who did Fulton lose?
Inoue.
Exactly.
Yeah. Inoue is very fast.
Did not match Inoue's at all.
It's not. What makes Inoue so outstanding is the fact that not only that he's fast, but he packs such a punch behind that speed. Right?
Yep.
That's what makes him so impressive.
He's fast, he's explosive, and he commits to his angles. When he sees it, he commits. It's not
he has great balance. I did a video on him, and if you
Tremendous.
watch Inoue punch, he has a wide stance, and his footwork is always impeccable. It's almost like it's like when he moves, it moves perfectly. It's almost like it's
He keeps,
a robot,
yeah, he keeps
you
his feet.
know, beautifully, beautifully, and he's in and out. Shakur has a lot of that. Shakur has very good footwork, but Shakur doesn't. First of all, Shakur's stance isn't as wide, but Shakur doesn't uh turn his he doesn't commit as much into his punches. Maybe if he did, because he's all about conserving energy. So maybe if Shakur committed more in his punches, maybe he would have more power.
Yeah, I think Shakur, when you've seen the times you've seen Shakur sit down on punches, he's got good power, but he doesn't have great power.
Not
Like,
great. And
you know what? He's got consistent punching power.
right, right.
Punching power that wears you down.
It'll wake you up, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Where
Michael
he's
says
that
anyways.
one punch knockout artist. It's
Right.
just not. He's not built for that.
Anyways, quick twitch with his punches is ridiculous, Michael says. It is. Inoue keeps moving, which a full-time boxer should be doing.
He's improving. Yeah, he keeps improving. Yeah.
Improving, not moving, improving. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's also what is he, 30? I mean, he's nearing the peak, and then the only place to go after that is down. You know, he's right about at that point. You know,
Yeah.
Manny has fast hands. Well, Manny, arguably fastest hands in history, or one of the top 5. Manny,
some of.
right?
Yeah. But is Manny history yet, or are we still counting him as a current fighter?
Well, he might fight again. He should be done. He might.
I just see how they're going to commission. You know how the commissions are going to sign off on that. I think Manny's taken enough abuse at this point. I don't know why.
I mean, he was on the other end of the handing down the abuse for most of his career, so you know.
Yeah, but fights, and he has slowed down considerably.
He has.
That beating he took from Ugas.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, he looked good against Keith Thurman, but you know that fight was super close. People forget. Yeah. You know, super close.
Fight.
You know, and now Thurman's fighting Tszyu, which I'm not so sure how to. What do you think about that one?
Thurman. I think if that fight happened a couple years ago, Thurman's been on the shelf. You know, and he has a habit of being on the shelf. You don't come off the shelf to fight a prospect. You come off the shelf, take a tune-up or two, and then you fight a prospect. But to come off the shelf like that, he's been living the good life. And just to jump back into the mix like that, you know, and this guy's hungry. Tzew's hungry. He can take him late.
What seemed
challenge from Clarissa Shields.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. But what seemed to be impressive to me was, or not impressive, what threw me off, I didn't realize that Tszyu looked, tell me if you agree, at least 2-3 inches taller in the face-off.
I know he's taller. I don't know about 2. I don't know about 3. Maybe
2 for sure.
Maybe. I didn't pay attention to the footwear either, so that could.
But also, when you looked at their heads, their skulls, he just looked like a bigger dude.
He's a bigger dude, yeah.
Which could be a problem.
He's got a wider frame, you know, but I don't know. Thurman's got some experience, and we'll see what happens. I just don't like a guy coming off the shelf like that.
I don't think that's that big of a deal. When I look at that, when you're at his stage in his career with his background and he's resting his body. What's wrong with that?
He is, but has he been keeping sharp? You know,
you know yourself. Like, how unsharp is it when you've been doing it that long? It's like riding a bike. You don't need that much time.
But okay, so then you look at it, and you've got to also think about the preparation, right? When you're in it and you're doing it, you've got good camps, you've got good sparring partners, you've got prospects who want to train with you and stuff like that. When you've been on the shelf for a while and you jump back in, where do you find a Tszyu sparring partner? You know, where do you find a Tszyu caliber sparring partner that quickly, or someone that mimics his style of fight?
Right.
You know, it takes a while. So for me, coming off the shelf, I'd like to see a camp far enough out. This fight's coming up.
Right.
This fight I'm with you. I think you're right. When you are at that level and you're that caliber of fighter, it doesn't take much to get back in.
No.
And sometimes you've had time to think about some things and watch some things and go, hey, wait a second. I may have just unlocked something. So, we may see a better Keith Thurman than we've ever seen. I would just have liked a good tune-up fight first, get him back in the mix a little bit, get a good camp ready that's Zoo specific, whoever that sparring partner or those sparring partners are, to help him over time work on the things that Zoo does. Zoo does a few unorthodox things that I'd like to have more
This
time.
fight, to me, and I'm cool with Thurman's trainer actually, and he, of course he's going to say this, but he's very confident that Thurman's going to destroy Zoo and that Zoo wasn't even bigger, but to me, this fight has all the makings of a very disastrous career move for Thurman.
Could. Absolutely.
Because you're fighting a younger, bigger, stronger guy with forget about the DNA he has in him of one of the best fighters ever, hardest punches
one of the
ever.
best pound punchers
ever. But Zoo has clearly gotten a sprinkle of that DNA because he hits hard. But on top of all that, what are the risk rewards here? There's no belt. The belt's not up for grabs. What does Thurman really get? What, he beats Zoo? And if he beats Zoo, people will be like, Zoo was unproven anyway. Who cares?
And Zoo's still young and can say, I lost to a former I wasn't ready for.
Right.
And nobody.
What's up, Gilbert?
This guy puts himself in a crossroads position fighting Zoo. You lose, people are going to say, listen, you need to get out of here.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Again, shout out to Gilbert. Thanks for joining. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a very bad career move for Thurman. If it was for the belt, that's a whole different story.
So maybe you know better than me. Why has Thurman been on the shelf for so long? Why does he have such long periods of inactivity? What's going on? Is this a promotional? Is it managerial? Is it
injuries? I think he had injuries, and then COVID hit, and then I think it was injuries.
Okay, and that's not good either.
No, but I think
injuries coming off the shelf, injuries can flare up in training camp.
Well, if they do, but I think
then you're in there with a guy young and spry.
I think in his position, somebody who was at the experience level, former champion, the amateur background, everything that he had at the age he was at in his 30s, I think this inactivity was actually great for him. I think it rested him up. I think it maybe even reset him mentally to get his drive back.
I hope. I think he should have promotional fight with Clarissa Shields, made himself a bunch of money. you don't have to knock her out, but
no, that's a horrible look. Talk about lose.
I think he could have made it an exhibition.
That's a lose. That's an awful thing. I think it's like you have nothing but bad can come out of that for Thurman. Nothing but bad.
It could be the mean streak in me.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, Shields, I talked to her when I interviewed her, and she was serious. She was dead ass to fight him. But
yeah, I realized she was dead serious.
Yeah. She'll fight anybody.
Barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah. So Gilbert, Jonathan asked, are we talking about all-time current or all-time speed? It's current, but if we want to spice things up a little bit, we can go into all-time. Why not? Who's your top 5 all-time fastest hands?
Wow. Roy Jones, Muhammad
Number
Ali.
1. Ali, huh?
Yeah, I've got to, again, we say pound for pound, right? Size for size. Sure. Who threw faster combinations than him at heavyweight?
He looped a lot of his punches.
Yeah,
if you look at it. Looped a lot of them. They weren't that fast because he looped them.
But they still got to target faster than the guys could get out of the way.
He was smooth. It was like butter with it, like but he still looped his punches. So I don't put him there for that reason. But go ahead.
Really, I think size for size. I think they were faster than they looked, and I think they were deceptionally fast, which is why a lot of guys got hit with them too. I got to put Ray Leonard.
Yeah, absolutely, Ray Leonard.
Come on,
Agreed. So I agree with 2 of the 3. Keep going.
Let's see. We got
And guys in the chat, your top. Feel free. Top fastest fighters of all time. I want to hear it.
Pacquiao. Got to
Okay.
put Pacquiao up there.
Okay.
I get torn because it's deeper than it looks. Because Zab Judah, I've stood in the front of his punches, and Kevin Kelly's versus other fighters, and those guys were faster than people realize.
I got Zab top 10, but not top 5.
Yeah, right. It gets deep. It gets deep. Top
You're
5.
missing one guy who I would put.
So pound for pound,
Pound for pound.
I got to put Chris Bird up there too. I got to put Chris Bird up there. He was a heavyweight.
Okay, but he's not really. But I guess he fought. But he's not really. Let's look at him as what he should have been, which was he should have been maybe as 175 pounder. So for 175, it wasn't that fast.
World, and it was that speed up there, pound for pound, that got him. It certainly wasn't power.
But he wasn't a natural heavyweight. That's why I wouldn't.
Right.
But you have a point.
Right. So that's why, what if we were saying top 5 fastest heavyweights or top fastest heavyweights? No, but pound for pound, got to, because it was pound that got him there.
Right. We got Mr. Big Play real quick. What's up, my man? Roy Jones and Sweet Pea. See,
I love Sweet Pea.
I don't think Sweet Pea was one of the fastest punchers.
I don't either.
Defensively, absolutely.
Puncher, one of the fastest reflexes, one of the fastest defensive fighters, right?
Tough,
one of
too.
Gritty guy, but I don't think he had the fastest hands. When he stood in Belly's Hurtado, it wasn't speed that ended up winning.
Oh, he came this close to losing that fight.
He was
Okay, so you got Chris Bird, Roy Jones, Muhammad Ali, and who'd you say?
Manny
Pacquiao. You got one more.
That's tough to hang it all on one. Ray Robinson was so fast.
You said Ray Leonard, didn't you? So that's 5.
Yeah, that's 5.
Okay. I would swap out Muhammad Ali with Meldrick Taylor.
I don't have a problem with that.
Whew. I mean,
he's in my top 10 for sure, always.
Blazing fast.
Nunn was fast. Michael Nunn was fast.
You know who was really fast? Chris Reed.
Chris Reed was fast. Yeah.
Shane, what about a 135 Shane Mosley?
I think Oscar was just as fast as Shane.
Oscar, what about Oscar? Oscar might have been faster.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Especially in combination punching.
Oscar, do you guys watching?
So we just gave a prime example. Oscar, some of the fastest combinations you would see. Yet I watched Pernell Whitaker dodge an 8-punch combination and then immediately followed up by a 5-punch combination and not get touched by a single one.
Yeah, but you know better than anybody. That's timing. You get a rhythm. You know a punch.
Exactly.
Because they do this. If you've looked at everybody watching, when you watch defensive fighters, great defensive fighters, they do the same defensive movements all the time. It's the same pattern because they've learned over time that punches come at them 1, 2, 3. So when they move,
so they know where to go.
So a lot of times they're not defensively moving based on what's coming at them. They're just doing the same defensive pattern that they always do.
Right. So
and a smart fighter will switch up the combination. Right. So a smart fighter will switch up the combination and catch him.
Exactly. Fake them somewhere and come somewhere else, and All
right. Let's see what Teach. What's up, Teach? What's going on, my man? All right. This is Teach's list. Sugar Ray Leonard 1. Completely. Gotcha. I'm good with that. Roy Jones. Okay. Teach, I like you, but you cannot put Sugar Ray above Roy Jones, but we'll talk about that later. Roy Jones 2. Pacquiao 3. I'm good with that. Floyd. You know what? Pretty boy Floyd. Pretty boy Floyd. Yes. Amir Khan. He's faster than
Khan.
Amir Khan might be faster than Meldrick, pound for pound. Vasily Lomachenko. Javante. Gary Russell. Camacho, I agree with.
Camacho's up there.
And his 10th one is Prince Naseem. Now, was Prince as fast as he was hard? That pause, the kids would say these days. But did he punch as fast as he did punch hard? I like Camacho a lot. Go ahead.
I think one punch the Prince was fast. But
he's explosive, like Deontay. He was like Deontay, wasn't he? Explosive.
Yes, I think Kevin Kelly was faster. I know Kevin Kelly was faster. And that's why in that fight, it was the power of the Prince that got Kevin, not the speed. Kevin dropped him a couple times with speed.
I disagree. I think Kevin dropped him because he was able to time the awkwardness of Prince. And because he knew Prince was putting his
fast too, because it was so awkward.
It was
had to know where
it was fast. Okay.
I agree. I think it was both.
So Hector Camacho and Amir Khan. Amir Khan was he might be
Speed demon.
top 5.
Sure, why not?
You guys watching, is Amir Khan top 5 pound for pound speed of all time? I want to
I
hear
don't have.
type in a
I don't have.
1 if you agree or 2 if you don't agree. Is Amir Khan top 5 all time fastest hands in the world? 1 if you agree, 2 if you don't agree.
Johnny Tapia's got too. Johnny Tapia was so fast.
I mean,
He was
currently
a small man.
though, we don't have anybody who would be in the all-time rankings for speed. Like there's nobody that we're watching now where we're like, when this guy retires, I think he might be in the top fastest ever, right? There's nobody like that right now.
Unless it's Pacquiao.
Right.
Pacquiao.
Right. Where do you guys rate FTD? What's FTD, Big? I don't know what that means. Oh, GTD, Gervonta Tank Davis.
Gervonta, not in the top 10.
I don't think I put him in the top 10, but if you watch, because here's the thing, Big, we were saying this before you got in. Gervonta, your eyes, excuse me, are grabbed by his power, not his speed. So maybe he is fast. I don't know, because speed is power a lot, but his are more thumping. But he's pretty fast.
Stuff, right?
He what?
He runs guys into stuff. And again, it's what we said earlier.
Timing, yeah.
He's T-Rex, so he doesn't have that far to travel with his punches, right? So he runs guys into stuff closer. He's not trying to fight guys on the outside. He's not trying to chase guys down and use.
Well, you're right. That happened with Rolly and Ryan, for example. But if you look at other clips where he's just on the attack, straight attack, it's fast.
It's fast, but he fights it at his range where he can be fast.
Sure. Well, everybody has to do that, don't they?
He's got the ability to step to the angles that will make the punches shoot past and then counter as they're coming forward. So them coming forward and him punching, yeah, that looks much faster.
Agreed. Here we got Teach saying, this is a good one. What about Joe Calzaghe?
I don't have
a problem. He was rabid. Are you trying to say rapid or rabbit puncher?
Rapid.
He was quick. Fast. He was really fast, actually.
He was. I'm a big Joe Calzaghe supporter.
I didn't like it. People used to compare me to him too, which kind of annoyed me for some reason. I don't know why.
I liked him, and I definitely, I couldn't shut up for days after he sent Jeff Lacey packing because they thought Jeff Lacey was going to go.
Here's what annoyed me about Joe Calzaghe, and I don't want to. He got all amped after he beat Roy. Now, let's be honest. Everybody watching, including you, Hayden, if they would have fought 5 or 10 years earlier, what would have happened?
Different story. When Roy dropped him early, he would never have made it out of.
He would have finished him. Yep. He would have finished him. But Joe had a lot of power, but he was one of the few guys. Like, I'm not disrespecting any fighter, but the lack of power was really extraordinary. The lack of power he had.
Yeah. Especially in that era of fighters, there were a lot of guys that don't get props, and they were B-level fighters that today would have been A- fighters. I think they had power. They just weren't fast enough. You had guys like Omar Shika and Charles Brewer and, guys like that would have given a lot of these guys fits.
Big, you said I look similar to Calzaghe. I'm talking about how I fought, not the way I looked. Did you mean how I looked, or do you mean how I fought? Because I'm sure you might have seen some clips of me. I don't know. Let me know which one you're referring to. Teach.
Probably.
I don't think I slap. Like, I know it might look that way sometimes.
I don't think Calzaghe slaps either. I think it looks like it, but he whips those punches at the end. That's how Roy got cut. He's got some torque to those.
Yeah. No, he does.
Roy, bad.
Yeah, no, for sure. This Gary Russell Jr. though, apparently, I haven't seen enough of him. I think I might do a video on him. He apparently is really fast. I mean, would you have him at a possible all-time speed candidate when he's done?
I got to see him against other. So it's all relative, right? Some guys look really fast when you see them hitting bags and pads, but when you see them in front of another guy that's fairly fast or another speedster, then you realize, okay, he's fast, but he's not tremendously fast, right? So you need to see Gary Jr. in that kind of fight.
Okay.
Paul
We have
Williams fast. He was
Paul,
fast.
Paul Williams. Oh, so you could see the comments now, Hayden?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know if because you said you didn't see him last time. So okay, good. I'm glad you
yeah,
see him.
they're popping up.
Paul Williams, he was more of a a bulk kind of fighter. He threw punches in bunches. He overwhelmed you with shots. Like when I talked to Winky Winky goes, he said at one point, he goes, if you see in the fight, I start laughing. And I'm like, why? He goes, I was like, this guy's like a fucking octopus. He's like his hands, it's just like he just won't stop throwing punches at me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so he had that kind of output, but was he that fast?
yeah. I think he had volume. I'll tell you who else was fast that people don't realize was as fast as he was, and it may have been because we only caught him at the tail end of his long, illustrious amateur career. Was Joel Casamayor.
Yeah,
That
he
guy
was
was
pretty
real
fast.
quick. Yeah,
But again, we got to do the pound for pound rule. When you're dealing with somebody that's small, they're all going to be relatively fast.
yeah. But when you saw him, especially when he had that fight with Acelino Freitas, it was good. He gave as good as he got for a while there. Arturo
Yeah,
got deceptively fast with certain punches. And I remember when he was losing badly, I think it was to Gabe Ruelas. He uncorked some speed, and Ruelas was out.
well, okay, here we go. A guy that we both know personally, Paulie.
Paulie Maldonado.
Paulie, but it's only his jab. But that jab was fast as shit.
It was really fast. A lot of people don't realize he had a good straight right though. He had a good one too.
It wasn't hard though.
No.
Fast.
But that's because he was plagued with hand injuries. If you look at his hands, worse than Floyd's by far. And I told you last night, I think if you had taken him and Floyd and put him in the ring, that would have been a really interesting fight. At the height of speed, yeah. Paulie was really, really fast guy.
What's up, Dimone? So this is what we're talking about, and it's subjective, but in my opinion, Roy Jones, without question and equivocably, not even in range of anybody else, he has the fastest hands. Like he's here, and everybody else starts it here. Hey, Hayden, you agree with that?
I can't disagree. I love Roy just as much, and I'm trying to keep my bias out of it. I really, and
Here we go.
The heyday of that. So we watched this guy just annihilate people and draw criticism that
absolutely
he's not fighting it as well. There wasn't anybody else that could compare.
Exactly.
He fought he had all
absolutely. Yeah, he did. Jay Pitty, what up, my man? We were just saying this before you jumped in. Ruiz, you can't sleep on him because for his size, I mean, he threw some fast. He has power, and he might even be faster now that he lost weight. So yeah, Ruiz is up there. If Ruiz would use the Mike Tyson style, the custom model style that I was taught, I think he'd be a good candidate for that style because he's fast and he's aggressive.
I wish David Tua had been taught that style a little more too.
I asked David that when I interviewed him. He didn't really. He was like, I don't know. I didn't know Kevin. He didn't really have an answer for it.
Yeah, Tua Tyson would have been a fun fight to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Tua had a chin.
I was gonna say arguably top 10 greatest chins of all time is Tua.
Yeah. Because when you look at it, he and Ike Ibeabuchi set the record for the most punches thrown in a heavyweight bout, and they did that on Cedric Kushner's.
It hasn't been broken, right?
Right, has not been broken. Cedric Kushner's heavyweight explosion before that, the record was Ali Frazier, and they did it in 15 rounds. These guys did it in 10.
Yeah. No, they were throwing mad shots. He was.
It was
Tua. Joe Frazier's left hook, though, because we're talking about speed, and we were having a conversation like, okay, are we talking about combinations? Or are we talking about one punch speed? And there's a few fighters that Deontay Wilder being one of them, that his 1 or 2 punch combination is super fast, but he doesn't throw a 3, 4. It's really just one shot. Who's the other guy that has one punch real quick that we talked about?
One shot. Well, Prince Hamed.
Prince had one, right? Prince had one shot that just exploded. It was a lot of explosions. Pause.
Yeah.
But a lot of those. And Wilder also is able to cover so much distance because he's so long. Another pause. And that, I guess, is that part of the speed? The physics of the speed?
I think that the speed generated, allows him to cover that distance faster than any other heavyweight in history, actually.
D White, what up, my man? Sugar Ray Leonard. Oh, the shoe shine.
That was one of the picks.
Sugar Ray Leonard, if when you see him do that, like, I mean, and the thing with him was, this is what surprised me over with Sugar Ray Leonard. You see Meldrick Taylor throw punches. Um, Leonard was able to snap his shoulder and turn every punch over with that speed. It's hard to get the speed and the snap at the same time. Tyson, okay, wait a second. Wait a second. Mike Tyson, pound for pound, who has faster hands than Mike Tyson? He's almost Roy Jones level. Prime Mike Tyson.
I don't know.
Prime. When I mean prime, I mean up to 1990.
But okay, so here's the problem I have with that. Who are the prime marquee fighters that Mike Tyson beat?
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when you watch his punch, when you take one of those baseball things that measure a baseball, and if you could do that with a punch, Mike Tyson had way more speed than any heavyweight in history by far.
I don't know how I feel about that, because he never proved it against another fighter that was explosive and fast. He didn't prove it against Evander. He didn't prove it against Lennox.
We're not talking about competition. We're talking about just throwing a punch. That's all we're talking about. Who threw the fastest punches?
I don't know. I don't know if he was that fast.
Oh,
I know
man.
He's very fast.
You really don't. Have you watched his highlights lately? Again, 1990 and below Mike Tyson.
I'm looking at a Mike Tyson that covered ground fast with his legs and jumping to his angles to get to a very fast punch. So I think that's what people's eyes connect with, is Mike Tyson would be in front of you and all of a sudden be on the side of you throwing an uppercut because he got in position first.
I'm just talking about, okay, so you got Teach here who agrees with you. I'm talking about his feet and his head movement was also some of the fastest in history. But I'm talking about when you see him have somebody on the ropes and he does just like, I mean, come on. And the power behind it too. He has probably the best mix of speed and power in history.
I don't know. I can't vouch for that. Signing off on that one.
I feel even though you knew Wilder's right hand was coming, it was amazing how people would still get caught with it. It was literally telegraphing every time.
I'm with you. The guy's right there. He looks so basic, and next thing you know, you're on Queer Street because you got the right hand to the temple.
People don't realize. Right. Well, people don't realize that defending a straight right hand, and I know some tons of experience, is hard because people always either move their heads or they do this, but the right hand comes down the middle. So you never see people really do this. So the right hand can land so much more easily because no matter where you move, you can move into it. Whereas a hook, you can move under it. Uppercut, you can move away from it. But the straight right, doesn't matter where you move, you can move right into it, and your hands are almost never naturally blocking it. They're never like this or like this. They're always here. It goes right down the middle. So that's why
he always hurts them with it. They can be winning. You look at King Kong and probably one of the most, if not the most skilled fighter he fought, besides Fury, and just couldn't get away from him.
No, I mean, except for Tyson Fury and Joseph Parker, which I can't believe I'm saying, nobody could get away from it.
Yeah, well, he didn't really throw it much at Joseph Parker.
He threw a few, though. I did a video. There was a few that he threw, and Parker ducked out the way, and I don't know if Deontay just got discouraged or what.
Yeah, I think they trained for that because, generally he's a one-trick pony. It's funny, the learning curve for this guy, I feel for him. He came into the sport really late. You can't do that in any other division, right? Heavyweight is the only division where you can come in that late in the game because the skill level is not the same as the lighter weight divisions. And the learning curve is tremendous. I think he came in, he had a great trick. It got him millions of dollars, a world title, an Olympic bronze medal. But at the end of the day, if you want to stay there and have longevity, you've got to have the other skills. And I think he's trying to develop those other skills now. I think he wants to be able to jab and move around and box, but he can't put it all together yet. And he's drawing a lot of criticism right now, trying to be defensively responsible and do a little bit more and be more versatile. I think he, I think he had a good jab. I think he had good moves. I would have just liked to see some more other stuff with it.
I talked to Malik Scott literally, I think it was last week, and Malik was like, "You can hear the audio." I was telling him, "All right, no more circling. It's time to walk through this guy." And he's like, Deontay just wouldn't do it. He had a bad night in the office. He kept repeating this phrase like "bad night in the office."
Yeah.
Because you could tell he was like, "This wasn't me. I didn't design this circling, and not throwing punches." I think he was real clear with that one.
Yeah, but it happens. Sometimes even in sparring, your trainer's screaming at you to do something, and you're just not seeing it. You're just not feeling it. You get stuck on stupid. You can't change gears, and it's all downhill from there.
I just can't believe you guys don't think Mike Tyson had some of the fastest hands pound for pound in history. That's
I think he had some of the fastest attacks, but I don't know that it was his legs.
I would pull up a video right now.
Head movement.
I'd want to even pull up a video right now.
Fast position, jumping to an angle and then making a fast attack. But I don't know if it was his hands. I think he delivered himself to the punch quickly.
I'm talking about that he did that, but he also threw the punch very fast.
Yeah, but
Hayden and I tend to.
Okay, you know what? Go back and look at what I show everyone. It doesn't matter what weight division. Was one of the best, maybe the best punch, the most perfect punch I've ever seen Mike Tyson throw, and one of the most perfect punches in boxing. Mike Tyson was easily losing a fight to Francois Botha. That punch didn't travel more than 6 inches.
Short.
Right. It didn't even travel inches.
But again,
to be super fast, he just delivered it right where it needed to be.
But again, I urge all of you, I'm talking about prime Mike Tyson. And prime Mike Tyson really rarely happens. His prime was ended at his early 20s. That Mike Tyson, even the older Mike Tyson was fast, but that Mike Tyson, come on. I mean, you and I usually agree on almost everything. So I'm still, every now and then we get one of these.
Disagree completely, but I just can't confidently sign off on that. He was fast, but I think for me watching, it was always the whole attack. It was just the entire attack, and he was designed to get past longer guys, taller guys. He's always the shorter guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
what's up, Arizona, Ron? Exactly.
He was designed to get past those their long rangy jabs, their slower feet, and everything, and get himself there so quickly. And the punch came so short after it. We were just like, wow,
Yeah. But Ron, what's up, Arizona, Ron? Yes, the gold 88 gold teeth of Mike Tyson. I mean, that speed to me, it was almost Roy Jones level, almost considering he's 220 pounds.
That wasn't quite Iron Mike just yet.
That was Kid Dynamite, right? Well, he was Iron Mike, I guess. I mean, Frank Bruno was the first fight that I saw him start slipping, and obviously in the next fight he lost Douglas.
Yeah.
And Frank Bruno touched him up. I think prime Mike Tyson was a beast. Gilbert, you are a smart man. He was. We're going off tangents, but you know what? My show, why not? What heavyweight could have beaten 1988 Mike Tyson?
Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis.
Oh, whoa. Riddick Bowe?
I think so, yeah. Bowe was
the fudge out of here.
Fearless. And look, Bowe had 3 battles with Evander Holyfield, who was a great sparring partner for Mike. And later on, you could see it. People, Evander Holyfield beat Mike, but that wasn't Mike yet. But it wasn't Evander either. Evander's actually a year older than Mike, I think, or 1 year younger, 1 year older. So, and had more wars with more fighters of a higher caliber than Mike had.
Look,
right?
it sounds great, but I don't think there's any way in hell Riddick Bowe would have beat prime Mike Tyson.
Peter
Lennox,
McNeely and Spinks and old worn out Holmes and who was the guy? Who was the guy that really solidified it? No, but he was a marketing machine. They marketed Mike, and we believe.
You can argue that. Look, I'm with you. Mike Tyson lost all of his mega fights after he lost to Buster Douglas. So I'm with you, but I'm talking about that prime, that hungry, that young, that Cus D'Amato disciple, focused Mike Tyson. Bowe's not beating him, I don't think.
No, we never got to see it. They never.
Lennox might have.
I think Lennox would have. And when you look at commonality, right? Mike Tyson had 2 wars with Donovan Razor Ruddock, and he talked about how hard Ruddock hit and everything. One went the distance, one got stopped late. Lennox Lewis, 2 rounds. That's all he needed for Razor Ruddock, 2 rounds. That was back when
Yeah.
Lennox was
But
aggressive,
again, okay, and that Mike Tyson,
responsible.
the Tyson that beat Ruddock was almost prime. I think he was anything after Buster Douglas to me is no longer prime. You know, he didn't move his head. He just went right up to you and started trying to get you out of there. He didn't have that movement, that fast feet you were talking about. He abandoned almost all that. And
Wasn't
those
as
of you who know my background, you know, I learned that style, so I know exactly what he did do and then what he stopped doing.
He wasn't as disciplined. You know, and you look back at it again. I had him losing that fight until he landed that short right hand on Francois Botha. Again, Lennox Lewis, 2 rounds, knocked the guy out of the ring easily. Didn't break a sweat. So, you know, I think that would have been the guy. I think he would do, but Lewis was just too big and too long.
No, he was too big. Yeah, it was not fair. But Arizona Ron, Prime Tyson could have been on National Geographic with the ferocity he had, and Lennox is my favorite heavyweight. So, Ron, you think that Prime Tyson beats Lennox? Because Lennox, you know, 6'6", punch like a mule, fast, smart, gritty,
educated by
people
great.
say his chin, but
nah, that's not true. And we've asked several heavyweights. Alvin McCall was a big banger, and he got caught. He was surprised, and he got caught by a big banger. And that was the ringer that Don King had. Don King couldn't wrangle Lennox away, so he wrangled the title away and got more money off of a rematch. Lennox Lewis, the only man in history to beat every fighter he ever fought. When he lost to Hasim Rahman, what did he do?
Well, Fury also, but not retired, yeah. Well, Marciano too, actually.
Yeah.
Not in history.
I should have said one of the only in history. But to this day, still the last completely unified, undisputed heavyweight champ.
Yeah, and we're hopefully going to get another one. Now, Usyk versus Fury, who you got?
I've got Usyk. Yeah,
we don't agree on that one as well. Let me hear why.
So, first of all, Fury has had problems with southpaws. Second, the volume that Usyk fights at. Look, it's one thing when you can lean on a guy that's right there, but when the guy's too short and can get under you like that and punch with volume and hits hard enough to wear you down and has great endurance where you don't, you know, and is much more disciplined and focused, I think Usyk proves to be too much and too busy instead of that Fury can't keep.
Okay. So, and we'll revisit this later. I want everybody here listening to remember that I think. Huh? Say it again.
I don't think it's a knockout, of course.
Okay.
But
I think Usyk likely gets stopped, and the culprit will probably be body shots. I think Fury is going to maybe have a little problem the first few rounds, but then be able to wear him down, impose his will, his size, some of his dirty-ish tactics. And he's just going to be too big, man. If they were the same size, I would pick Usyk, skill-wise, if you compare skill. But when you take the size difference and the fact that, remember, and you know this, size only matters when you know how to use it. That's it. It doesn't always matter. But with Tyson knew how to use his size. His size mattered, but it was a smaller size. So I just think Fury's too good at using his advantages.
Fury cut and almost stopped because of that nasty cut by a southpaw in Otto Wallin. Cut again in sparring, training with the southpaw so I've got to look at that as well. I'm factoring in the issues with southpaw.
That video to me, by the way, did you see the video?
It was a clean cut.
I found the video possibly slightly fishy. And I'm not you know me, I'm not conspiracy theory. I just thought, first of all, I didn't know he used his camcorder from 1996 to film that. Like, what the? Nobody's quality is that bad. Nobody. There is no device anywhere that quality is, not even security cameras are that bad.
Yeah. You can get a ring camera and film it and it'll look better than that.
2, if you see the punch or the elbow, Tyson Fury is 6'9". This guy he was fighting with, it landed near his chin at best. It was nowhere near up here. And with Fury, he has a big head. That's like a foot off.
That cut looked really clean too.
So the cut is real. here's what I'm thinking. Tell me you guys think about this. I'm thinking he might have violated, like a lot of boxers, for example, can't ride motorcycles because it's considered dangerous, and then the
He
promoters,
did something he shouldn't have
the
done.
networks, right? The networks lose money, so they can't do certain things. So I think he might have done something that violates his contract, something dangerous or reckless. And
What,
instead of,
Vegas, what's a guy like him do?
he's in Saudi Arabia, but not in Vegas. But who knows what he did? Who knows?
Fall off a camel?
Who knows? But maybe that's the reason. Maybe he
Yeah.
won and he staged it. I'm not sure. It looked
Possible.
fishy.
Anything's plausible with him, you know. I mean, so hey, I'm throwing in the towel on this session. I got to get moving.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hang around a little bit. Talk to these peeps. All right, my man.
And then tomorrow night, I
can't do tomorrow. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day.
I think that's most of us will get in trouble if we do. So if you're game for Thursday, I'm game.
Yeah, I'll see you Thursday. I'm gonna stay around. All right, man. Peace.
All right, gents.
All right. Okay. Fury pulled a Ric Flair. A Ric Flair. Do you guys think? What do you think? Tell me quickly. Do you think that it's possible that video was? Because the only reason I could think that he would lie is that maybe he would either lose money or there'd be something that would violate the contract for how the cut really did occur. And it looked like it was kind of, because even afterwards when he got hit, the way he reacted and the whole thing, is it just me? Tell me, is it just me? I'm curious if you guys think that there's any possibility in that video of Fury getting cut being staged. Obviously, he really got cut. I'm not saying he didn't get cut, but I think that he might have gotten cut in a way that would violate his contract. He did something reckless. He got cut fighting, or who knows, riding a motorcycle, who knows? And he had to act like it was sparring. I don't know. Demone Daniels, is Fury overrated? Well, I don't know. I think Fury's the best heavyweight in the world, but after the way he just looked against Ngannou, instantly everybody's like, All right, Teach got it fishy. Yeah, it's a little fishy. I'm curious what everybody else thinks. I don't know if he's overrated. I think Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. I think he's a cheat code because he's so big and he has such speed. And now he has power. Sugar Hill got him hitting hard. And he's so crafty, and his will, I mean, and he takes a punch. I mean, he got stretched out numerous times fighting Wilder and got right up. Got up for punch. I mean, you guys remember he did the whole Undertaker, like Dracula, just rose from the dead. We thought he was done with some of those shots. But Gilbert thinks he's the best heavyweight in the world right now. I mean, yeah, unless Usyk proves otherwise. It's not Wilder. It's not Joseph Parker. No disrespect to Joseph, but he's not the best. It's not Jared Anderson. What other heavyweight? Oh, Zhilei Zhang. It could be Zhilei Zhang, which is insane. 40 years old. He could be the best heavyweight in the world. People were on the juggernaut, Joe Joyce, for a while, which I clearly quickly that was debunked after his losses to Zhilei Zhang. I never thought Joe Joyce, while he's a big, strong, good fighter, I never thought he was championship level. I thought he was very slow, very lumbering, lacked a lot of things, just used his size to scrape by. Can you break down a potential fight, Bud and Canelo? I can. Bud and Canelo, to me, comes down to punch resistance. Can Canelo take Bud's punches? Most likely. But the real question, because Canelo hasn't even batted an eyelash getting hit by Triple G and Kovalev, but can Bud, one, take Canelo's punch? Two, can Bud hit hard enough to even make Canelo respect him? So to me, that fight, forget about all the technical skill. It's about punch resistance because Canelo is going to land on him at some point. He is going to land. And what happens when he lands? Can we really say that a career 135 pounder started at, now he's 147. Can we really say that this guy can take the punch of somebody who is legit 160, 168 now? I don't know. Cobain, what up, my man? Canelo, that's a messed up picture showing Errol getting chop meated up all in his face. Canelo only chance of beating Bud is KO. Bud gonna outpoint Canelo. Bud ain't scared of contact. Well, the only way I see Bud winning is that if it's not a decision, I would be so shocked if Bud stopped or knocked Canelo out. So shocked. If he beats Canelo, where would you rank Bud all time? That's tough because if he beats Canelo, now he's only beating one generational talent in Errol and one legend in Canelo. So beating one generational talent, one legend, 2 fights. It's hard, man. It's hard because his competition wasn't like Roy Jones, same thing, didn't have the best competition, but you would watch Roy and you just see the speed and, you know, he was clearly the highest level souped up Lamborghini, and everybody else, all his peers were Hondas. You know what I mean? So that's why Roy, you can overlook the fact that he didn't beat a lot of legends. He beat 2, James Toney and Hopkins. But Bud, the way he did it wasn't so amazing. So I don't know. I don't know if he beats I don't know if I put him all time. Do you guys think Bud deserves to be all time if he beats Canelo? He definitely deserves to be a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer anyway. But I don't know. Omaha, Nebraska tapped in. Bud ain't gonna KO Nello, but 12 rounds, I got him winning. Not by a landslide or anything. Bud's just too good. Salute to you, though, Marco. Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man. Now, mind you, if I had to bet, I would have to bet with Canelo, for Canelo right now, if I had to. But I give Bud a hell of a shot. Hell of a shot. What makes Canelo legendary? His longevity in the sport, all the weight divisions he's gone up, everybody he's beat. The fact that up until recently, when he bit off more than he could chew, the only person who beat him was Floyd, who is arguably the greatest fighter ever. And also, separate to actual skill, the crowd he generates, man, the Mexican following, he's not just it's not just a fight with Canelo, it's an event. You know what I mean? And generates all that money for a reason. I think Bud deserves it if he beats Canelo. I'm not totally against that. He'll be a 3-division world champion. Here's the thing about champions, though, guys. I don't look at the belts you win. I look at who you beat to get those belts. So if you're beating everybody, like Roy Jones did, for example, he beat everybody. Okay. But if you got a guy who just wins a few belts, it's impressive, but the champions aren't always the best fighters. Rolly Romero, no disrespect to Rolly, but he is not one of the best fighters at 140 right now. He's not in the top 5, yet he's a champion. So belts don't always mean anything. Tim Tszyu is a world champion, which he didn't win it fighting anybody, I don't think, or if he did, it was vacant. Tim Tszyu has not beaten anybody. I think maybe one fighter of note. No legends, no generational talents. Generational talent means people of this era who stand out. Like a Sean Porter is a generational talent. Of his era, he was one of the best. He would lose a lot of his clashes, but he was one of the best. Tim Tszyu hasn't beaten any of those. So, he has a belt, but he needs to show more to me. He very well might be. I'm not saying he doesn't have it in him. It's just not there yet. Bud in my top 5 dead or alive if he beats Canelo. That's a tough one. I'm not sure. I'm not totally against that idea, but I'm not sure. Was there a side of the street? Let me put this up. Was there an A side of the street with the old legends? I think Roy's the best I've ever seen, and it ain't really close. And I'm 48. I'm 47. Dimone. Yes, Roy is the best I've ever seen, but by a landslide. There was no A side. There was no A side. Were you talking about A side, B side? Is that what you mean? That crap wasn't around. That's a new thing, which I hate. And I credit Floyd for starting that. Him and Pacquiao started that A side, B side bullcrap. MD Mills, what up? Thurman doesn't have the wear and tear. Yeah, exactly. Thurman does not have the wear and tear. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. All right, guys. I am going to bounce. It was good talking. I'll be here not tomorrow because got to spend time with the wife, but I'll be back Thursday. Same time, same bat time, same bat place. Appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button. Apparently that sparks the algorithm, gets me more visible. I'm trying to build my live up. As you guys know, I put out a lot of videos. Those are doing pretty well, but the lives need to build. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you already have not. And I will see you guys later. Peace.